right, we're going live. Does it have a... All right, we are live. So tonight is the second part of how to create peace in your life. And hopefully we're going to take just a minute because I think we're going to try to post this on Facebook as well so that it can do both. But I don't really know how to do that. So we have a team working on it. Where did it go?
It's not coming live
on Facebook. How about on YouTube?
Account. Let me see.
Well, it looks like it's. Give us just a second. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this, and you'll see on Facebook and on YouTube. Hopefully, we're live on one of them. Okay. All right. So last week we went over some things that I'm going to go over again, and you'll see that each week I'm going to go over what we went over last week, and then I'm going to add some things. So we're going to keep going so that we can clear things out of our own mind. So last week we went over, and let's see if we can make this so you can see it a little bit better. Can you see the Ho'oponopono? Oops. Is there too much of a glare? Can you see it? Hi. Okay. So we're going to go over it again, just so we can get it. The more we go over something, it's like a habit. The more we go over it, the better you get it. So last week we did Ho'oponopono. What is that? That is self-love. How do we do it? So the way we do it is we say to ourselves. Now, why are we saying these things to ourselves? Because we've been really mean to ourselves our entire life. Our entire life, we have forgotten that we can control our own thoughts, our own minds, our own. That's the only thing we have control over, really. That's it. So Ho'oponopono is a series of 4 sayings to yourself. Number 1, the light came. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so mean to you. I'm sorry for what I just thought about you. I'm sorry for the things I say to you all the time. I'm sorry for the things I do. You say you're sorry. You would do it to a friend. You are your best friend. So do it to yourself. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. Why are you saying this? Because what have you said to yourself prior to this? I mean, think about what you say to yourself. And a lot of times we don't even know what we're saying to ourselves. We just continually say things and we don't even know what we're saying. Our mind is running. This mind, not this mind. This mind is running as if you don't know how to stop it. But you can stop it. You have to pay attention. See, when you pay attention, and this is mindfulness, when you pay attention to what you are speaking inside of yourself, not outside. I mean, you should pay attention to that too, but you need to pay attention to what's going on in here. This is what's creating the suffering inside of you. You are the creator of your own suffering. You cannot blame it on someone else because all it is a thought you have in your mind. So, I'm sorry for those thoughts that have made me feel bad. Please forgive me for that. Thank you for the forgiveness. See, you're talking to yourself, but it's okay. And I love you, right? You say this. So then we have a series of things that we must do in order to recognize what's going on inside of us. We have to tell ourselves the truth. Truth. What is the truth? Like, we don't know what we're saying. That's not true. We're just not used to recognizing a thought as it comes in. You're not used to recognizing your own thoughts. Think about what I'm saying. It's true. You're not used to paying attention to the thoughts that are running in your mind. 60,000 of them, sometimes more, a day. Okay? So you got this chatter and chatter and chatter and chatter and monkey mind. And this is just sitting quietly waiting for you to stop. It's like, when are you going to stop that craziness going on inside of you? So you have to tell yourself the truth. What am I thinking? All right? Then you have to give yourself a little bit of gentle kindness, loving kindness, right? You have to be gentle with yourself. So you have to tell yourself the truth about what you're thinking. Oh, I was thinking, whatever it is. Like, we all have these thoughts. I've had conversations with many people today, and every one of them had some thoughts that was creating bad things inside of them, the suffering inside of them. So if you tell yourself the truth is, I was thinking about, what happened to me yesterday. Somebody, and I'm going to make up a story because I don't want anybody to get offended. So somebody cussed me out yesterday. All right, that didn't really happen, but it's a story, right? And it could have happened. It happens all the time, right? So somebody cussed me out yesterday. Why would they treat me like that? Why would they say that to me? Well, they shouldn't have said that to me. Then you go all into this stuff inside your head. You're feeding this thought that doesn't even matter because it's already done. It's yesterday. It's gone. It's already gone. You can let it go. It's gone. It's history. You cannot do anything about it. It's left. So if you tell yourself the truth, it's going to help stop that suffering. It's going to help. Then you have to give yourself loving kindness. That's where this comes in. See, this is loving yourself. This is, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Oh, you would say this to a friend. If you did something to offend someone, a friend of yours, you would say to them, oh, you know what? I'm sorry I did that. Please forgive me. I've done it. I did it when I got back from Thailand to somebody that I wasn't very nice to when I left to go to Thailand. And I remembered when I got back and I said, I'm sorry I said those things to you. Please forgive me. And they said, no problem. And I said, thank you, because you didn't have to forgive me, right? Right? And I told them, I love you too, on top of it all, right? That's what we say to ourselves. If we say this to ourselves, we begin to heal inside. It begins a chain of events that correct what we've been doing to ourselves all along our entire life. Like, we've been trained to think about the past. We've been trained to think about the future and what we're supposed to be doing that we may not be doing and we need to be doing. That's crazy talk. Stop it. Be here in this present moment because it's the only one you really have. This is truth inside yourself. What do I have right now? I have this minute in time. Do I have yesterday? No, it's gone. Do I have tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know if tomorrow's coming. Is it coming? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Nobody knows. Then you have to be patient with yourself because you're going to, backslide. It happens all the time until you get to a point where you recognize it. You're mindful. See, when you get to this point and you have clear comprehension, then the chatter stops. It stops. But you have to remember, you have to be here. Because you're going to go back and talk about things that don't make any difference to you. This is truth. I do it all the time. Not with myself. With everyone else, I'm telling you, when you get to this point, it stops. You don't have to you don't have that suffering. I never think about yesterday. Who cares? I don't care. I saw that boy and I spoke what I spoke because I saw him. Never entered my mind until I saw him. I didn't carry it. But when I saw him, I took care of what I needed to take care of in that moment in time. And then I let it go. If you do these things, it creates non-suffering. So have patience with yourself because it takes practice. So that's where the effort comes in, right? The effort. That means you have to exert some kind of energy. You can't sit back and not give an effort and think that things are going to be different. They're not if you don't give an effort. You have to give an effort with whatever you do. And then you have to have balance. So what is balance? It's not being too far up here, all happy and giddy, and it's not being way down here, all sad and depressed. Even space. How do you do that? You recognize your thoughts. You're mindful. You're being mindful of what this is telling this. Right? What is this telling this? If you recognize that, you're creating balance because then you can go, oh, this is telling this something that is not true. Right? This is telling this something that is not true. Oh, I better correct that. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. This is scientifically proven, by the way. They have tests out. They can prove it scientifically that this works. Okay? So then after your mindfulness, after you're mindful about what your mind is thinking, what am I thinking? What thought is going through this head, not this, right? You will begin to have clear or full comprehension. What does that mean? That means when you have a thought, you're going to know what it's going to create, right? You have a thought, all of your thoughts are creating something. If you're thinking something, it's creating something. What's it creating? Is it creating good? Is it creating suffering? Is it creating balance? What is it creating? So you're going to know when you start having mindfulness, see, these follow each other. All of this and this are kind of together, even though they look separate, but they're really not, right? Because when you're telling yourself the truth, that's when you're telling yourself you're sorry. Truth is, I'm sorry I had that thought. Okay, that's truth, right? Please forgive me. Gentle, loving kindness. Thank you. You're giving it an effort, right? I love you. You're balancing yourself out with that love because you were all the way down here. Now you're bringing it back up to balance. So these are the same. They're just spoken differently, but it amounts to the same thing. These are not hard things, but they will work. I'm telling you, they will work. Next, you're mindful. You have full comprehension because you know what your mind is thinking. And if you know what your mind is thinking, you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen with that thought. Okay, if I have a thought of yesterday and it wasn't a good experience, that's going to create suffering inside of me. You know that. This is not something that's hard. This is something that's easy. We try to make it hard because we're so used to the suffering that we think suffering is easier. But suffering isn't easier. Suffering is hard. It takes a lot out of us. It taxes our body. It makes us sick. So if we know this, we know this is going to be easier for us. And it makes you feel better. Like this is healthy for your body. All right, so you have full or clear comprehension. Then we have a couple words down here that are new. Moral shame and moral dread. What does that mean exactly? Moral shame. Think about that. Moral shame. Well, that's when you do something or don't do something because somebody you know is going to see you and feel bad about it, right? That's a moral shame. That's like embarrassment. That's a moral shame. It prevents you from doing something that would make you embarrassed or make you feel uncomfortable, right? Moral dread. That's like, if you had to go to jail because of what you did, you'd be dreading that pretty bad. So these two things help us keep ourselves in check. It helps us stop ourselves from doing things that will create suffering inside of us. That's what these do. Everybody has them. We just don't pay attention, just like everything else inside of us. We give our power to some unknown thing floating around and think we can't, there's nothing we can do because we're just depressed. No, that's not a truth inside of yourself. You might be depressed, but there's a reason. What's the reason? Tell yourself the truth. Give yourself some gentle loving kindness. Be patient with yourself because it's going to be painful at first because you got to face the fact. You got to face the truth that, hey, I'm thinking about something that was painful in my past and it's making me sad. Well, let's change that. You can change it like that very quickly. You don't have to stay in that. How long do you have to suffer? 2 seconds, you can be done. Really, that's the truth. You can be done in 2 seconds. So, sorry, people are dinging me online. So, if you are done in 2 seconds, you don't have these moral shame and moral dread because you're not going to get arrested. You're not going to have people, angry with you because of something you've done because you've thought about it. You had clear comprehension. You knew what was going to happen afterwards. So then the next one here, we have patience again. It's important to be patient with yourself. And see, all this you have to do for yourself first. You have to do it for yourself first. Because if you don't have this inside of you, then you're not going to be able to say, oh, you need to do this to somebody else. You can't say it anyway. But if you have it inside of you, people will ask you, what are you doing? How come you're so happy? What's going on? How do you do that? How do you not get stressed out when all this stuff is going on? Well, let me tell you, they'll ask you. You won't have to say, oh, let me tell you. If you're going to somebody and you're going, oh, let me tell you how to do this. No. Because they're going to ask you. So I just got a text from Thailand. I'm shouting out to Thailand. So if you do all this right here, you do these things first. And I don't mean just do it and then not do it. I mean, do it every day, all day. Look, what's wrong with telling yourself, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you all day long? When you do it all day long, you've got that running inside of you. You can only have one thought at a time. And then that thought is a good thought, right? Like, it feels good to tell yourself you love yourself. I don't know how many of y'all have done that, but it feels good. When I do it, which is almost all the time, it's like a mantra running in the back of my head. Because as we go into the world these days, especially these days, there's chaos. There's chaos. People are angry. Sometimes they're not angry. Sometimes they're happy. But a lot these days, people are crazy. They're angry. They're upset. They're not happy about what is going on. So they take it out on anybody that's around them, right? But if you have this going on, you can flip that script and they won't even know what happened because you got it inside of you. What they say doesn't matter to you. That's what happens. Someone can say bad things to you and you'll be like, all right, it's okay. Because you can see what's going on inside of them because you have full comprehension. You can be like, oh, you're having a bad day. It's got nothing to do with me. I mean, you don't want to speak this when they're angry. You want to speak it inside of you. You want to tell yourself, oh, okay, I got it. They're upset. But it has nothing to do with me. It's them that's upset. It's not me. I don't have to take that on. I don't have to take what they got going on inside of me and make it go on inside of me. You don't have to do that because you got this. And if you're in balance and you have the full comprehension, then you can see, right? And then what happens is they'll feel this. They'll start feeling the moral shame at the way they acted towards you because you didn't do anything, right? You didn't do anything. So they'll start feeling this. And if you show them loving kindness, it'll flip that. It'll start, if you add fuel to the fire and you're angry because they're angry, then they get madder, then you get madder, and we have this flame that's. But if you give them loving kindness, right? We call it metta. If you give them that, then that's what they're going to receive. And it'll change things. I know it to be true. I do it all the time. All the time. So then you have to have patience because the world does not know this. We're trying to help the world understand that there's loving kindness in all of us. We're trying to help them understand that they can take this and work inside themselves and fix themselves. Right? We can fix ourselves. We don't have to give our power to everybody else and say it's their fault that I feel like. No, it's not. You have the power to change it. There may be situations that happen, but you can control your reaction and your inner self on how you react to that situation. So then we have serenity. It's kind of like patience and peace and calm and virtuous, right? You start feeling this inside of yourself because you're doing all these things and it just automatically comes into play. These things just start flowing inside of you. So we have benevolence. This is a big one. It's the first one who does the favor. So it's your parents. Right? Your parents, a lot of us are angry with our parents. I was at one time, I was pissed at my mom and dad. But they gave me life. I don't care if they did anything else for you. You wouldn't be here if it weren't for them. So they are the first to do a favor. And we have the person who gives gratitude. That is you. To your parents. You have got to give gratitude to the. I don't care. I know some of us, not me. My mom is no longer alive and my dad he's alive and he's doing well and I love you, Dad. But there are some out there who have parents that aren't the greatest parents in the world. You can't do anything about that. Nothing. There's nothing you can do about it other than show them loving kindness. Because if you show them gratitude for your life, right? This is what you're doing. You're showing them gratitude for your life. Because if it were not for them, you would not be alive. Plain and simple. That's truth. So you just give gratitude. You don't have to like the way they act. You don't have to like what they do. You don't have to do all that. But what this does is it changes you inside. See, we're working on us. We're not working on them. That's a hard one for us to get in our mind. We are not working on them. They are not the ones who need to change because they are not you. And the only person you can change is yourself. So you have the only thought you can control is your thought. Stop giving your power away. The only person you can control is yourself. And we don't do that most of the time. We don't control ourselves. We give our power to everything outside of us and go, oh, that made me do that. I got angry because they made me angry. Really? They are some powerful people then. If you realize that you have that inside of you, when you give your gratitude to your parents for your life, it changes you, not them. But something magical happens in all this right here, and it's truth. Something really magical happens because when you're doing this, loving kindness to yourself, right? You start to change, but when you're changing, the people around you start changing. It's a funny thing that happens, but it's truth. I've seen it. I've watched it. I've done it. It's like magic. And it's called loving kindness. And when we do this, it's just automatic. It flows out. I can go into a grocery store and people be fighting and I can say something to them kind and it can change. It can change the whole situation. Anybody can do it, not just me. But if you go in and you have the same feeling and same energy that they're having, it's going to escalate that. That's what happens. You cannot fight fire with fire. Actually, you can fight fire with fire, but you can't in people because it will start a flame that you cannot put out. That's what's happened you can look around the world right now. You can see all the riots going on. Those are flames that somebody threw gas on. They forgot about the loving kindness. They just threw gas on it and it created chaos in our world. Look at our world. But I can tell you, the only thing that will stop it is loving kindness. It's not going to stop if we keep putting gas on it. It doesn't happen like that. People are mad. They get madder when somebody's yelling at them. If you walk up and somebody's yelling and you yell back at them, they're going to get more angry. They're not going to calm down. They're going to get more angry. And before you know it, you got people doing this. But if you walk up and you show them kindness, understanding, things start to calm. People start to care about each other again. See, we've forgotten. Gratitude starts with our parents. They gave us life. Anything else is a bonus. If they gave you anything but life, you got a bonus. So give them something back. Be kind to them. Love them. Show them a little peace. They need it in this world. So here we go. I have all kinds of little things. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Because we don't. We have forgotten. In this world, we think it's ego if we love ourselves. But our ego runs rampant and it has nothing to do with loving yourself. Your ego is something that says, why did that person do that to me? Right? Why did they do that to me? Well, who are you? You're the same as they are, you know? And they weren't doing it to you. They were doing it to them. If someone does something to you, you need to take a step back and think about what's going on inside of them. Right? Because people aren't just going to be angry for no reason. There's something going on inside of them. You know, it can be someone in their family that has cancer and they're fearful that they won't have that person. So they lash out at you for a second. Oh, but you didn't see it because you got angry with them for getting angry at you. But if you take a step back, you'll be able to see what's going on. See, that actually happened. Someone got angry over a little thing. It was minute, little thing. But he had a mountain on his shoulders. And people didn't see it because they were caught up. But it's okay. We all get caught up in our life, right? And if you have a mountain on your shoulders, you don't need to take it out on somebody else, right? Take the mountain off your shoulders. So there's a few things that we have to tell ourselves in truth, right? So one of the things is everything is impermanent. What does that mean? It means nothing lasts forever, including you, including me. Everyone, everything in this world will go away eventually at some time. So if we know this, we can say, well, that's a truth. So I don't have to worry about it. Because I know it's going to happen, right? If you have knowledge of something that's going to happen, then you can live in the now and not worry about when it might happen. Because it doesn't matter when it's going to happen. If you think about when it's going to happen, then you're going to waste this moment in time. These moments in time are beautiful moments if we pay attention. Pay attention. This world is teaching us. This is the university of life. Okay, that's what we're in. None of us recognize it as a university. So we go to school and we try to get educated. Nothing wrong with going to school. But you're missing it. Because you can read a book and you can have all the knowledge in that book. But what does it teach you about today? What's it teaching you about real life? If you pay attention, I'm not saying don't get an education. Get an education. It's good because you need it in today's world. You need to be educated and smart and try to work things so you can have a good job and you can make money. See, I always say I don't want to make money. I'm tired of people saying I need to make money. Truth is, we all need to have money. In this crazy little world we live in, we have to have money in order to survive. We have to have money for food. We have to have money for shelter. We have to have money for electricity. It goes on and on. So we have to have money, so you need an education. But you also need the education of life. And if you pay attention with this education, it will be the best one you've ever had. Because it will give you the power to orchestrate your life the way you want it to be. Think about that. You can create what you want in your life. I'm telling you the truth. I've done it. You can create what you want. What do you want? Well, most of us don't want to live in suffering. So we start with that. Here we go. We're going back here. We're going back to the beginning. Because when we're little kids, we're babies, we come out of the womb, we don't know that we don't like ourselves. We like ourselves, right? And we don't know anything. There's no names to anything because we don't know what it means. We're taught everything in our life. We're taught all of it. So if we go back to the beginning and reteach ourselves how to love ourselves, to know that it's okay to feel good about you. I don't care what you look like. Doesn't matter. Because inside here, we are all the same. It's truth. We're not different. We're the same. You open us up, it looks the same. But there's a little thing inside that you cannot see. You can't see it with your eyes. You can't touch it with your hands. But it's in there. And that little thing is your soul. This is your heart, your mind. And it creates your world. And when you give that love, it manifests things. It brings things into beautiful realities. If you let it. If we don't let it, then we get the chaos going on. But if you let it, loving kindness will work miracles in your life. It starts to change things, and then you grow, and it gets bigger and bigger. And pretty soon, the family around you has started to change. And then the people that associate with you start to change. Or they kind of go away, one or the other. Because like people who don't feel that love inside themselves, they can't be around people who do. It's a funny thing that happens because they're angry. So, but if you generate this out, you generate this loving kindness. And then it starts to blossom. It's like a flower, right? They use the lotus flower, right? It opens up. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And so this is your heart, your soul, this loving kindness that opens up and blossoms. And when it does, people see it. They see the love inside of you. And they're like, oh, they say you look younger. They do. Oh my goodness, what have you been doing? You look so young. Did you get a facelift? No, I just found some love inside my heart. That's what happens if we do it. And you have to continually marinate this inside of you. Because all of your lifetime, you have done the opposite. Okay? All your lifetime, you've done the opposite. You've talked to yourself in negative ways. Like, how many times do you have a conversation in your head? Oh, I'm too fat. Oh my God, I have a zit. Oh my God, my hair looks horrible today. How many times do you have these conversations inside of you? This is all things that are downing on yourself. Now, turn it around. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. When you do this, you start to fertilize that flower inside of you. And it starts to grow and your heart starts to blossom. And then you start to see the love in other people. So you start to see the love in other people. And they start to see it in you. That's what happens. But it can't happen unless you do it for yourself. You have to do it for yourself. If you don't do it for yourself, it doesn't work. It doesn't work saying, oh, you need to love yourself, but you're not loving yourself. How does that work? It doesn't work. People look at you and they see the love and kindness inside of you. And it changes things. It's so miraculous. I've been in a room full of people and I've watched it happen, changing people inside the room. I've gone into a restaurant where the waitress was, slammed. She was slammed and she was, like this. And I said, man, you are busy, but you're doing such a great job. I said, I know that it's hard for you, but wow. And her attitude changed like that. And the person behind me said the same thing. See, it caught. It's like this virus, see? If you give love and kindness, it will catch. It's like that. See, we can spread the good or we can spread the bad, either one. But the good is so much better. And it's amazing what happens with that. You can heal yourself. Yes, you can heal yourself. Because you're giving yourself love. And that's an energy source inside of you that changes things. See? It's scientific. It sounds like I'm making this up, but I'm not. It's truth. It's scientific. They tell people your attitude is half your battle. You ever heard that? Yeah, we've all heard it. It's truth. They just don't tell you how to change your attitude. They just tell you that your attitude is half the battle. I am telling you how to change it. I'm giving you step by step by step. This is how you do it. It's really very easy. We complicate it and you will, you might try to make it hard for yourself. Don't do that. Doesn't have to be hard. It's love, Love, love. That's all it is. Inside of you for you. That's the secret. But we think it's something else. It's not anything else. That's what it is. It's love for yourself. But you have to be in love. If you love someone, you're going to be kind to them, right? You're going to be patient with them. You're going to be gentle with them. You're going to forgive them. This is you. We're talking about you. You have to do this for you. If you do these things, all the rest will fall into place. See? You'll start being mindful of the thoughts that are entering your mind because you are starting to love yourself and you're forgiving yourself for all the old stuff that you did. And so you're going to be mindful about what else you're bringing in. Oh, what am I bringing in today? I'm going to bring some love and kindness into myself. I don't care what I did yesterday. It doesn't matter. Right? Yesterday is gone. Forget about it. 2 seconds ago, gone. Don't even worry about it. If you did something 2 seconds ago that upset yourself, who cares? It's gone now. Leave it. Let it go. And love yourself. And then be mindful of the next thought that enters. This is how you do it. You have comprehension of what is going in and what it's going to create. See, I sound like I'm repeating myself. I am, and it's on purpose. Because the more I say it, the more you'll start to have an understanding of it. Because we are not told this all the time. So you have mindfulness, which you're doing all this stuff, telling yourself the truth. Then you start thinking about what you're thinking, what this mind is thinking, and what this mind is doing with it, right? So when this mind thinks something, this mind needs to wake up. This is where your mindfulness is, right here in your heart. So when this mind starts to think something, wake this mind up and go, am I giving myself love or am I giving myself hate? What am I doing? Right? That's what you do. You wake your heart up. That's your mind. You wake it up and go, what am I doing? What am I saying to myself? Don't let your mind wander because it will hurt you. It's truth. It doesn't, normally when our mind is off wandering, it's not saying anything good to you. You're having a conversation that is not good for you. Stop it. Pull yourself, bring your heart in. I'm just going to call this mind your heart. So we're going to bring our heart in. When this mind, this monkey mind starts to chatter, you got to wake your heart up. This is how you do it. You wake your heart up and you go, oh, am I feeling good or bad? Have I given myself love and kindness, or have I started something? I lit a flame of fire that's hurting me. What have I done? Pay attention. See? Because at that moment in time, you can change it. You don't have to suffer. You can go, okay, I woke my heart up. I recognize that, oh, that doesn't feel so good. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to put that out there because that was yesterday, or that's something I don't even need to think about. It has nothing to do with me. Right? Like too many times we pull in what someone else is feeling or thinking. We're like, oh, they feel that. Oh, I must feel that too. No, you don't. Stop. You don't have to feel it too. That's not you. That's them. You don't have to, you can have empathy for someone, but you don't have to bring it in and feel the same thing they're feeling. Because are they having a good time at it? No. You don't want to do that. So you have to be mindful. Be mindful of your body, of your mind. Wake your heart up. Have full comprehension of what's going to happen. Okay, if I carry on with this conversation inside myself, what am I going to do? What purpose is it serving? This is your clear comprehension. You're telling yourself, what is it serving? What is it doing for me? If it's not serving you, if it's not doing anything good, get rid of it. How do you get rid of it? Back up here. You tell yourself the truth. Give yourself some gentle love and kindness. Be patient. Give it an effort. I can't hit effort enough because we think that things happen automatically. You have to give an effort. I know because I teach a lot of people, and I know they give a really good effort at feeling miserable. They give it an effort. It's like, I have never seen so much effort as when they feeling miserable. I'm like, you can stop that. Stop it. Give an effort to loving yourself, giving yourself gentle love and kindness. When you say something negative to yourself, or you start to feel that, depression or whatever you want to call it, then give yourself some love. Say, oh, I'm sorry I just did that to you. I'm going to let it go. Thank you. Thank you for forgiving me, right? I love you. See, you have to do this because we do not pay attention. It's drawing your attention to the love in your heart. Most of the time, we don't recognize it. Most of the time, we're off in la-la land, and la-la land isn't all happy, right? It can be a little crazy in la-la land. So you have got to pay attention and bring your love in. Ooh, people think I'm crazy when I talk this, but it's true. It's true. If you give yourself love, you're giving love to everybody. But you can't give love to everybody if you're not giving it to yourself. Like, how do you do that? You can't give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. So if somebody needs a sandwich, but you don't have a sandwich, how are you going to give them a sandwich? You have to go get it, right? Well, that's the same thing with this. If you don't have love in your heart for yourself, you can't give it to somebody else. You don't have it. You have to get it for yourself first. See, do you first. Then you can do all kinds of people. You can just spread that love all over the place. But you have to have it. You have to have it in order to give it. So here we are. Truth, gentle loving kindness, patience, effort, 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 effort. Give it the effort. And then it creates balance. See, we don't really have to, if you start the steps, they kind of go boop, 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 boop. Just like if you're going downstairs and you start one step and then you just automatically start going. It's the same. If you just start giving yourself love and kindness, all these things will they just go hand in hand. And then sometimes you'll get there and then you'll get out of balance, right? Like you'll get all these things and you're going along. Yeah, I feel good. I got this. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're out of balance. Could be anything that whacks you out of balance. But most of the time it's not paying attention. If you're paying attention, you don't go out of balance. So you have to be mindful. See, these are all connected to each other. And it sounds difficult, but it's not difficult. What is it? It's love. Loving kindness to yourself, right? That's what it is. So all you have to do is remember to wake your heart up. Wake your heart up. Everybody, wake their heart up. So the world can be a peaceful place. So you have your world inside of you. I have my world inside of me. But we live in this big world. But if we do our world inside of us first, we've created this world of loving kindness and love, loving kindness. And then when I see someone, then I share that loving kindness with them. And then they feel it. They like it, right? You like it, right? And then she shares it with you. And then you like it. See, it's called paying it forward. So we share, but we got to share it with us first. Share. And I'm telling you, when you start feeling this, there's a smile that comes on your face and your life begins to feel good. But you have to pay attention. Don't go through life not paying attention. Pay attention. What is your mind saying to your heart? What is your mind saying to your heart? And if it's not something that's making you feel good, let it go. Don't be hard on yourself. Just let it go. Let it go. And then bring in that love inside of your heart for yourself. So I'm going to end tonight with love and kindness. It's called metta. Metta. M-E-T-T-A. Metta. It's a Pali word. And it means gentle loving kindness, which is, well, it's the best English word that we can come up with. And it actually takes 3 to mean it. But it's a magical thing. And if you do it inside of yourself, your life will change. The suffering will stop. Things in your life, people in your life, will change. The world will change. But you have to do it inside of you first. So I will see you next week. And hopefully everybody will join. If not, you can watch it later. And please be kind to yourself and kind to others. I love you.